I've got your answers. Alright, so we're going to install a, in this demo we're going to do an NX4 control panel, installing it into the cabinet. A lot of times in the manuals you'll see where it requires standoffs, but that's for additional modules. So putting the cabinet, or putting the circuit board in the cabinet is very easy to do. You're going to notice on your control panel on the top you have these slots here, and on the bottom you also have those slots as well. So the board is actually just going to slide in these slots and sit in a vertical position. So I'll show you how to do that. So the circuit board will actually just kind of line up in the top and the bottom here, and it will slide straight down. You may need to shimmy it a little bit to get it in all the way, but once it's all the way down, it'll sit flat to the panel. So the sticker, sometimes these don't stand very well, but they, you can always just put them back down, or you can move them to the side. The terminals are labeled underneath the circuit board as well. And you also have a panel schematic here on the door that tells you what terminals what for wiring. So in this, what we're going to do is we're going to wire up a keypad to the panel, and then we'll wire up the transformer to it, and I'll show you how to work with the zones a little bit on this one here. So for this demonstration we're going to use just a standard LED keypad, 8-zone LED keypad, which comes with the just the straight fast packs. So we're going to open this up here. Alright, so on the back of the keypad you have a blue block with 3 screw terminals on it, and they're labeled on the circuit board data, common, and positive. You have the same terminals here listed on the control panel, data, common, and positive. So we'll run a wire from here to here and get this all wired up. For this demonstration I'm using a 4-conductor wire, but this is only going to require 3 wires. So what you do is just you're going to back out your data, your common, and your positive. So you get your data line, and in this case I'll use the green for that. And then the common, I'll use the black line. And for the positive, I'll use the red wire. I think we're down one here. That's right. Okay, so that takes care of that. And to the back of the keypad, this demonstration, just feed it through here, and then on the back of the keypad, the 3 screws here, I'm just going to loosen these up, and we're going to do away with this white wire. And we'll just wrap it around here. And we're going to use the same colored wires for wiring up here. So we use the black for the common. I'm just going to slide it in the side of the block there, and then we'll tighten the screws down. And we use the red for the positive, so we'll put that into the positive line here. And we use the green for the data, so we'll plug that in here. Keypad just will hook on from the top and then slide down, and we can tighten the screw up on the bottom, keep it all together. Set that aside, and then wiring up our transformer. We only need 2 wires for this. So in this case we're going to use the same 4-conductor wire. We're only going to use the red and the black here. Alright, so at the top of the board there's two terminals here labeled AC. We'll loosen up our screws here, and we're going to go ahead and plug our wires in there. Make sure that you don't have a lot of exposed copper wire, because you don't want these two wires to touch each other before you plug it in. So make sure that you have good solid connection. If you're not sure, just give a little tug on it and make sure that it doesn't come out of the circuit board. Your transformer may look a little different than this one here, but this is the one we're going to use for this. Two screws on the bottom, and they're not labeled plus and minus, so it's going to be, it doesn't matter which way the wires go, because there's going to be no polarity here. So we'll just go ahead and set this here, and again, make sure that you don't have any wire that's too long or anything like that, and you don't want it touching each other. And again, just check your connections, make sure everything's good and tight, and then we can go ahead and plug this thing in. Okay. Okay, when you first power this panel up, this is normal for it to be beeping. So you're just actually going to step up to your keypad and press 1, 2, 3, 4. So after you hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, the beeping will stop, and your keypad is probably going to look something like this. You may have all 4 zone lights flashing. The service light may be on, it may be off. It's just going to kind of depend on, you know, what you've got going on here for the time being. So at this point, now that you've got the keypad wired and the system powered up, you can actually go ahead and start wiring up your zones, or unless you've already wired your zones, then you'll be ready to program the system. So at this point, the zones right now are flashing because they're showing that they're open. Usually you might see that. For any zones that you're not using, you want to strap them out in the control panel with a resistor. The kit should be provided with some resistors. They're 3.3K, and they look something like this here. And they all have color bands on them. And in this case, these ones have orange, red, and then there's a gold color band at the end. So for any zone that you're not using on your control panel, in this case, let's just say you're not using zones 3 and 4. You're just going to bend your resistor up into like a horseshoe kind of fashion, kind of like this. And then you're just going to run it across the zone and then the COM. So in this case, we have 4 zones and we have 2 COMs. So these 2 COMs are shared by the 2 corresponding zones. So we'll run a resistor across 4 and COM. And we'll run a second resistor from 3 to COM. Tighten these up really well. And then you'll notice on your keypad that zones 3 and 4 are no longer flashing. They're out. So that will take care of those zones, and then once you have zones 1 and 2 hooked up the proper way, their lights should be extinguished as well, and the ready light should be on. And then you're either ready to use or ready to program. That should do it.
Good job.